Hey, everybody, welcome to the 10 Stages in 10 Days preview. My name is Jeff Klein, and we're here today to teach you a few things about how to get on some live stages and to tell you about a program we've got coming up to teach you how to get on 10 guaranteed stages in a 10-week course. So that being said, I'm going to share some information with you, and we've got people in our studio audience who we'll talk to before we're done, but let me just dive right into some really mind-blowing information for you. And this is okay, so just some conservative numbers. And can you guys see the whole screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so just some conservative numbers talking about places to speak. There are 46,000 Rotary clubs on the planet. So let's assume that 30,000 of them are in North America. Every Rotary brings in a speaker every week, and subtracting a few weeks for members and holidays, that's an average of 40 weeks a year for each Rotary. If you just want to speak at Rotaries, that's 1.2 million opportunities every year where they need a speaker. Chambers of Commerce, there's about 7,000 chambers of commerce just in the US, and they all have at least one event a month where they need a speaker. So 7,000 chambers times 10 months, there's 70,000 more opportunities every year to speak. 92,000 trade and professional associations. Again, this is a US number. Let's just assume that half of them have monthly meetings in major cities, 10 cities. And there's more. These are, as I say, conservative numbers. So just half of the trade associations in America in 10 different cities, 10 times a year, 4.6 million opportunities to speak. The total for this just estimate is 5.870 million meetings who need speakers every year in North America. Now, the key about these groups is none of them will ever pay a speaker in advance. But they will allow speakers to make an offer when they speak. So this doesn't even include networking groups, church groups, other civic groups like Kiwanis and Elks and Lions, and charity groups, and so many other groups that you find on Meetup or on Eventbrite or wherever. So again, almost 6 million places looking for a speaker, and these places are in your neighborhood. They're right in your backyard. And the focus of this program is going to be getting yourself booked in driving distance from where you're sitting right now. Now, you can get booked virtually. That you can use the same techniques that we're going to teach to get booked virtually, and we'll teach a little bit about succeeding as a virtual speaker. But our focus is going to be getting you 10 bookings in your own backyard. And why am I qualified to teach you this? Because I did it. Back in 2006, 2004 rather, I had my own ad agency. My business was Klein Creative Advertising. And I discovered that people wanted to learn more about the elevator pitch, the 30-second elevator pitch for networking. And I learned about it through an organization called CEO Space. And we were teaching the elevator pitch every Friday. And somebody said, "Hey, Jeff, will you come teach that at my group?" And I made sure that CEO Space was okay with that. And I recognized I was promoting the organization and my advertising agency by going and teaching this lesson in another room. So I went and I showed up and I taught 20 people the same lesson I was teaching every week. through CEO Space or helping to teach. And somebody said, hey, will you come do that at our group? And then somebody there said, will you come do that? And I wound up about once a month for a couple of years teaching the elevator pitch, which helped me promote my business and helped me promote the organization that had gotten me started with that lesson. And I also was creating new profit centers because I was speaking to get people to hire me as an advertising agency. But at one point, somebody said, hey, Jeff, we want, 4 of us want you to come to a workshop and we'll pay you. Okay. So all of a sudden I had a new profit center. And then I created a CD. So remember CDs, this was 2006, so we still had CDs of the lesson. And I started selling the CD for $20. And so 2007 rolled around and I said, you know what? I'm going to set a goal to speak once a week. So I do it as my marketing plan for my business next to networking. So the 2 ways I marketed were business networking, which I was teaching as a business speaker. And I did that for 2007. And then I said for 2008, let's try twice a week. And I set a goal to speak twice a week, which I did for 2 years. I don't recommend speaking 3 times a day. I don't recommend the week of doing 6 talks in a week, although I know people who've done that more consistently than I, but 6 was sort of the top limit. and I will tell you that here in Dallas-Fort Worth, where I'm based, I drove an hour and a half to 2 hours sometimes for those speaking engagements because it's a large geographic area. And everything's bigger in Texas, right? So you got to drive places. But I would drive 2 hours to speak at a Sunrise Rotary in Weatherford, Texas, where they had 30 or 40 people, and I would give them value for 20 or 25 minutes, and then for 1 or 2 minutes, I would make an offer. I would tell them about my workshops and the CD. So 350 gigs in 2 years, 250 gigs in 3 years. And 3 times I got a speaker fee up front. But 90% of the time, I made some money at each engagement, whether it was one $20 purchase or a couple of workshops for $300 or $400. I think my biggest day was $2,400 for a 20-minute talk. And that was how I was building my business and making a living. And then in 2010, I had some coaches show up in my life and help me systematize what I was teaching. And that became what we call now Pathway to Profits. And there's a 2-hour video lesson for the do-it-yourselfers. But for those of you who want some guidance, that'll be the starting point of our 10 weeks to 10 stages class. Will be you watching Pathway to Profits and learning about that. So right here, let me ask right now if we've got a couple of folks in the audience, see if you guys have any questions, and then I will ask for some testimonials before we're done, because I know both of the ladies in the audience are clients and members, but I wanted to see if any questions pop up for you from this first part of the intro.
Are you finding that now are a lot of folks still doing things virtually, or are they going back to doing in person? How are you? What are you finding currently?
That's a great question, Ginny. Thank you for that. Both. So there are groups that decided after the pandemic to be just virtual groups. And they're great places to speak, and they're good audiences. Some groups have decided to be hybrid because there's still people who aren't comfortable in the room, but they want to offer them the opportunity to still participate. So those groups will have, and Melody spoke at one this morning, where they have people in the room and people who are at their home office. Actually, that group is based in an executive suites and co-workspace. some of the people who attended virtually were just down the hall in their own office. And they were down the hall from
Oh, there's down the hallway.
yeah, so that's sort of a hybrid group. but there are quite a few groups, as with events, where they're deciding, let's give people an opportunity to attend without having to travel, and so they're having in person and virtual at the same time. But there are a lot of groups that are back. They're back in the room, back in the restaurant, back at the banquet hall, having their in-person meetings every week for 40, 50 weeks a year. And they love when you give them a good speaker who gives value, which is what it's all about. We give value, and for that value, we earn the right to make an offer for 1 or 2 minutes out of our 20 or 30 or 40-minute talk. So, good question. Thanks for that. Let's see. I've got another share screen. I try to be very, very, frugal with slides. But I wanted to make sure that so I talked a little bit about what the program entails. So in 10 stages in 10 weeks, we're going to discover or enhance who your audience is. And of course, part of that is where they hang out. So what groups are they going to be in for you to speak at, right? And this is the, if you got a journalism background, you recognize these questions. Where to find the audiences, because they are everywhere. And again, some are virtual. I'm getting people bookings from, people who live in Seattle, Washington are speaking at a Dallas group, or somebody who lives in Canada. Melody spoke at a Dallas virtual group this morning, actually at the hybrid group. So, but we make sure that it's an audience of people that are prospects for your business. Because otherwise, we're not sending you to speak at groups just to get practice speaking. It's all about an audience that makes sense for you to speak to. And if they don't make sense, we don't recommend you spending your time for that particular group. Of course, we got when and how to make an offer. And you'll learn about seeding your talk, even in only 20 minutes. And you'll learn about having an order form, an actual paper form for people to fill in and purchase while you're there in the room. One of the things that's really important about speaking for your business is for people to get in the habit of seeing you as an expert that they spend money with, as opposed to an expert they get free stuff from. Mm-hmm. So by making an offer in that short time, you set the stage for being an expert that people pay. Because the truth is, whatever you're teaching, somebody can get for free on YouTube. But you're going to set the stage for resonating with the right people and being the expert they want to hire, as opposed to the talking head on YouTube. And of course, why should they buy from you? And that's part of setting the stage and being valuable to the people in the audience. And I'm going to come back to that word resonance, because when you're giving them information that they haven't heard, or have heard but haven't heard the right way, that clicks with them, it's those people that resonate with what you're telling them that will want to hire you. They'll want more of you. And the way they get more of you is to buy your CD, or buy your workshop, or buy an assessment or a training. And we teach all of that in this class about how to get people into your funnel and to where they become more and more customers, and then, of course, advocates for you. We'll talk about how to structure your talk, because a lot of people can make a lot of sales in 45 minutes to 3 hours, but 20 minutes is a different kind of conversation. And we have a proven system to make a 20-minute talk turn into customers and leads. And then, of course, how to get yourself booked, because the goal in this talk is for you to get yourself in front of those audiences right in your own backyard. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. So this is how the program is structured. We're going to have groups of 3 to 5 speakers. and we'll do 10 Zoom calls over a 12-week period. So you have a little time to do work in the middle. You will be able to get bookings while the program is going on. So it's not, you don't have to wait to get bookings, but the promise is that you will get these dates on your calendar, not necessarily within those 12 weeks, of course. And I'm really think it's important to tell you, this is a teach you to fish program. We have fish for you programs that you can ask about, but this is all about teaching you to do it yourself. And we'll be here to support you. It includes our $299 membership at speakercoop.com. And the focus is on live talks in your backyard where you can drive there. And my guarantee to you is you will get in front of 10 audiences when you take this program. Live, virtual, podcast, whatever the audience is, again, our focus will be those live talks in your backyard. And our goal will be to get them on your calendar so you can go out there and grow your business using speaking as your marketing tool. Any questions there? Okay. Jenny, you're here so that you can help me tell people about the program. So I'm going to ask you to for a testimonial, and then we'll see if Melody wants to give one as well.
All right, perfect. Well, I have to say, I mean, it's been a delightful experience working with you, Jeff. It was just so easy. We got on a call and literally, I don't know, 15 minutes later, I had like 3 bookings. It was just that easy. So it was really easy, really simple. And I'm actually really, really excited for the groups that I'm speaking to. I think that they're a good fit. It's really, these are great quality gigs. And and the folks that, that are, the event planners that you've connected me to are great people. I actually wound up getting an additional stage. So you booked me on 3 stages. And then one of those stages, he and I talked, and he was like, hey, why don't you come be on my podcast also? And I was like, okay.
Excellent.
So, right. It's already been multiplying just off the little, it took less than half an hour for us to get me booked on 3 stages. So it's been really delightful to work with you and really easy.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Melody?
Yeah, I'd love to give a testimonial. So I became the first international member back in January. I know, that was so exciting. I was very, very excited about it. And one of the reasons is I wanted to expand my audience. And as a member, you've been actually helping me set up meetings. And I've had more than I can count on my hand here already. And we're only, mid-March. And so I'm super excited about being on even more stages throughout the year. And, for example, today, these are good stages. Today, I, at the end, and about your program, I need to take it and learn to see it a little better and to make a better pitch at the end. Although I didn't make a great pitch at the end today, I did say, here's the lead magnet. I didn't say it this way, but I had a lead magnet and I had a one-on-one. By the time we were done and I turned on my email, I had already two consults set up from that meeting that day. So even my not so strong pitch, which I know, Jeff, you've talked about helping me with, even my not so strong pitch is getting me people through the gigs that you're getting me already. So yeah, thank you so much. This is awesome. I think this program, the 10 stages, 10 steps to 10 stages, I think it's a great program for people. And especially, people like me who, I want to get better at the stages, because you don't want to spend an hour at an event and walk away and have nothing, right?
Right.
I want to have more than 2. I want to have, a higher percentage. So I'm working towards that with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Melody and Jenny. I'm so grateful to have people like you in my life and in my business that we started as clients of each other, and then now we're friends, which is one of the nice things about what I have chosen to do for a living, right? But let's share the screen again. We got to make sure we do business here on the 10 stages to 10 weeks preview. So you can get this course for 3 payments of $900 a month or $2,500 up front. And if you book when you watch the video, and I'll be able to, I can track who's seeing videos. If you book when you see the video, instead of getting the $299 membership in Speaker Co-op, we'll give you the $499 membership. So you're going to get another $200 in value for deciding now instead of later. We've got people who are anxious to do this program. The first 3 will launch. We're not going to wait till we get more. We're going to start with the first 3. And the beautiful thing about the structure here is when 3 people say they're in, we'll pick a time that works for everybody every week, and we'll dive right in. We'll record every session. So if you do miss one, the information will be available. I am here to support you in making this successful. And as I said earlier, my guarantee is the 10 stages that we promise in the title. My guarantee is that you will get on 10 stages in front of 10 audiences. And however long that takes me, we joked with a colleague, if it takes me the rest of my life, I'll get you on 10 stages. But I promise you, it won't take that long. So we'll have 10 appointments on your calendar to speak in front of audiences when you take this program as a result of the 10 weeks program that you're going to sign up for and learn about.
Jeff?
Yes, Melody.
From my experience, it's not going to take a lifetime because, it's only been a couple of months and I'm there or past it probably.
Thank you. Yeah, it was more of a fun joke for our friends who've said that, even though they've been, they fulfill their guarantee in much less time as well. So I want to thank Melody Owen. I want to thank Ginny Trask. The short code is there on the screen for you, tiny.cc/10 stages. The payment button is right there. So don't waste any more time. It's time to be the Nike person and just do it. And let's get you out in front of those audiences. My name's Jeff Klein. Thank you for tuning in. All right.